Alright, it's time for Mega Balance 3. As usual, I lack Pokemon knowledge, so Smogon will be bailing me out again. And yeah, here we go, Mega Pokemon that would balance the game 3. In 10th is Scovillain, a Pokemon that was introduced in the most recent generation of Paldea, and was given a new unique typing of Grass and Fire. However, it is currently in the ZU tier. The reason for this is due to its poor stat distribution. It has very low defensive stats and a subpar speed. Its offensive stats are alright, but some of its stats are wasted in its physical attack, since it predominantly strives in using special moves. On its Mega Evolution, Scovillain will get a decrease in its attack stat to improve heavily in every other category, with the main emphasis on speed and special attack. Now how would this spicy Pokemon look like as a Mega? Possibly something like this. Mega Scovillain in its Mega form will still maintain its Chili Pepper Pokemon identity while looking much more menacing. And since it's still a Chili Pepper, it will obviously keep its unique typing of Grass and Fire. As for its ability, it will be given the very powerful Drought. This ability would boost its offense heavily. Fire type moves are strengthened by the presence of the sun, while its Grass type Solar Beam is able to be launched in a single turn. This Mega Evolution would definitely make Scovillain an absolute sweeping force. Putting this on the balance scale, Mega Scovillain will get a score of 8 out of 10. In 9th is Unown, a wacky Pokemon introduced in the Johto region that has a total of 28 separate appearances. Unown lies in the ZU tier because its stats are just not up to par with other Pokemon that are fully evolved. It also only has one move in Hidden Power, which is mostly set to Psychic so it can get boosted by Stab. For Unown to do anything, it would need a heavy reallocation of its stats alongside an ability that can help it compete. On its evolution, it will lose all its attacks since it doesn't even have an attack, are either distributed to special attack or speed, allowing it to deal more damage and outspeed a huge amount of Pokemon. Now how would this mysteriously weird Pokemon look like as a Mega? Probably something merged like this. In its Mega form, Unown has combined with other Unowns to become a more complete being.
What?
As shown with its multiple eyes. It will keep its typing of Mono Psychic since it still wields mysterious powers that is inconceivable to the mind. However, this alone won't be enough to save Unown, so as for its ability, it will lose Levitate in favor for a new custom ability, Unknown Power, which will have the following effects. Base power of Hidden Power is increased from 60 to 120, and Hidden Power always deals super effective damage. With this ability, Unown is actually able to cause major dents in other Pokemon, especially since it's paired up with its enormous speed stat, and will become the very definition of a glass cannon. Putting this on the balance scale, a 9 out of 10. In 8th is Toucannon, the regional bird released in the Alola region. This also lies in the ZU tier. This is because its only valuable stat is its attack, but it's not valued that highly since it has a low bulk and even lower speed. Its low speed makes its attack stat pretty much useless at that point. So on its Mega, it gets a good chunk of speed increase alongside bulk and even further attack. How would this fearsome bird look like on evolution? Possibly something like this.
Just follow your nose!
As you can easily perceive, Toucannon still keeps its same species of animal as a keel-billed toucan, as visible with its colorful beak. That's really it. Since it's just a bird, it will keep the same typing of normal and flying. As for its ability, it will be swapped with Regenerator. This ability paired up with the bulk and speed increase alongside the move U-turn would make Toucannon a more safe and secure Pokemon to use in battle. Putting this on the balance scale, 7 out of 10. In 7th is Greedent, the regional rodent Pokemon of the Galarian region. It is exactly like everything else on this list and is placed in the ZU tier. This is because Greedent only has one possible usage for its moveset and stats, and that's to be a belly drum cheek pouch trick room merchant, and nobody is doing all that for a goofball Pokemon. Realistically, it needs to become more of a tank than a sweeper. For this to happen, it will gain a decent chunk of increase to both of its defensive stats, as well as slight increase to attack, because all Mega Pokemon increases one of their attacking stats. It's nothing new. Now, how would this hairy and chunky furball look like upon Mega Evolution? Something thick, like this. As you can see by this design, Greedent is still a round brown rodent, but it's more than that. On its evolution, it becomes one with the ground, so its typing will change from mono-normal to normal and ground. This typing would allow for a stab Earthquake and allow for Greedent to pummel opponents with more ease. As for its ability, it will be given a new ability to help it restore health called Berry Buffet, and will have the following effects. At the end of the turn, eats a berry depending on remaining HP. If over 25%, eats a Oran Berry. Under 25%, eats a Citrus Berry. This ability to constantly heal health with even stronger heals in urgent situations would allow Greedent to become a very powerful tank with its already huge health stat. Putting this on the balance scale, 8 out of 10. In 6th is Beartic, a Pokemon from the Unova region, and for the 5th time is also in the ZU tier. And similar to Toucannon, it is only good for its attack stat, with erroneous speed, while also having a bad defensive typing. On its Mega, Beartic will gain a massive speed increase, enough to double its old speed, so it's practically activated Swift Swim or Slush Rush without actually needing any of the weather conditions. It will also gain attack to make itself even more lethal, and the rest of its stats into defense. Now how would this feisty creature of the Arctic with a high speed stat look like with a Mega? Possibly something like this.
Treat me like white teeth, don't get me dirty.
As you can see in this image, Beartic is still a polar bear and is showing off its speed as it looks like it's ready for action. And since it's ready for some action, its typing will also change from Mono Ice to Ice Fighting, which will allow for access in a stab superpower and better resistance against hazards such as Stealth Rock. The ability Mega Beartic will get alongside its evolution will be Tough Claws to boost the strength of its contact moves, which is pretty much all of its moves anyways. I'm confident that a faster, stronger, and freakier Beartic would cause mayhem with a Mega Evolution. Putting this on the balance scale, 10 out of 10. In 5th is both Plusle and Minun, both introduced in the Hoenn region as the region's Pika clone, and is the final Pokemon on this list to also be placed on the ZU tier. It has low stats, singular typing, and pretty horrid moveset. Honestly, these two are so bad that they would need a unique ability, such as Shedinja's Wonder Guard, to even become viable. But before that, the stat increases it would receive would be distributed pretty evenly throughout all their categories. Minun and Plusle has different stats, but the Megas will both have the same stat line. This is because I don't feel like making two stats, but whatever. Now how would these two goofballs look like in their Mega form? Probably something shocking like this. As you can see, Plusle and Minun still show their coloring of red and blue, while simultaneously still being exhilarating and cheerful. As such, the electric typing will be maintained, but they will be given a newly made ability in Equilibrium, which gives the following effect. If both Plusle and Minun are in the party, the bearer of this ability has all their base stats multiplied by 1.5. This would allow for Minun or Plusle to have a base stat of 727.5, which makes them only behind legendary Mega Pokemon in terms of having the highest base stat. However, this situation requires one to sacrifice one of the 6 Pokemon slots to benefit the other. While they still have their relatively weak moveset, nonetheless, Mega Plusle and Minun with a Mega Evolution will surely show the world of the electrifying duo they truly are. Putting this on the balance scale, 10 out of 10. And 4th is Garbodor. This stinker was released in the Unova region and is currently in the PU tier. Its only role is to be a bulky hazard setter that can increase its own longevity by using Pain Split. Its biggest weakness, however, is strong psychic and ground type Pokemons or attacks. So on its Mega, it would gain a huge increase to both of its defenses with a decent increase to attack as well. This would allow for a relative strength increase towards Pain Split and more times to set up hazards. Now, how would this trash Pokemon look like on evolution? Probably something dookie like this. As you can see, Mega Garbodor still depicts garbage. This time is shining to let it be known that it's better than before. It will keep its old typing of Mono Poison and will gain the ability Poison Point, because anyone touching this monstrosity will be covered in filth.
What?
These huge defense increases and the deterrent to apply poison on being hit will absolutely skyrocket Garbodor's ability to be a hazard setter. Putting this on the balance scale, 7 out of 10. And 3rd is Mudsdale. This Pokemon was released in the Alola region and is also placed in the PU tier. Its main purpose is to be a Stealth Rock setter with a high attack stat, but it gets outsped easily and can be overwhelmed by Pokemon with high special attack. So on its Mega, it will gain a huge increase of both of these flaws, allowing it to outspeed slower Pokemons and the capability to tank special attacks. How would this hefty horse look like on evolution? Probably something crazy like this. As you can see, Mudsdale still keeps its features of being a horse.
Oh my god!
It will maintain its original typing of Mono Ground, and will also keep one of its former ability of Stamina. This will still allow for it to deal heavy damage with moves like Body Press, and allow it to take both physical and special attacking moves better. And the increased speed makes it so you're not guaranteed to go second all the time. Putting this on the balance scale, 8 out of 10. And 2nd is Amoonguss, a Pokemon that has also been released in the Unova region and currently resides in the RU tier.
What the dog doing?
Due to its good defensive typing and its capability to be a defensive wall. It can also restore its own health by both Giga Drain and the ability Regenerator. For its Mega, it will obviously boost what it's already good at by increasing both of its defense with a slight increase to both of its offense. Its speed stat will stay the same. How would a Mega Amoonguss look like as a Mega? Possibly something sus like this. This design allows for Amoonguss to still retain his stick of being an imposter. as it tries to disguise itself as a Pokeball. It will keep its typing of grass and poison, as it will try to pose itself as natural while actually being toxic. It will of course keep its old ability of Regenerator, as not only is it strong and would work with cohesion with its higher defensive stat, it will also allow for Mega Amoonguss to vent out and put itself in a better position to allow for it to cause problems throughout the match.
Bruh.
And finally, we can't forget that Amoonguss has access to Spore, allowing it to sabotage even the strongest of enemies. Putting this on the balance scale, sus out of 10. And first is Jirachi. This mythical Pokemon was released in the Hoenn region and is in the highest tier of all Pokemons on this list at UU. It's in this tier due to its fairly high stat, good move pool, and ability Serene Grace to double the chance of secondary effects occurring. It doesn't need much, so for its Mega, it will just be given an even plus 20 split to all of its stats, allowing it to be better at everything. Now, how would this mythical Pokemon look like on evolution? Possibly something like this. As you can see, Mega Jirachi keeps all its distinct feature, such as having an eye in the center of its body and a star-shaped head.
Bruh.
It will keep its original typing of Psychic and Steel, as it still possesses the abilities to play mind games and also able to steal souls. As for its ability, it will change from Serene Grace to one that truly honors it as the Wish Pokemon, called Heart of the Cards, which will read the following effects. Heart of the Card increases the chance of secondary effects occurring by an increase of 30%.
What?
This ability would work identically with Serene Grace when used with moves such as Iron Head or Body Slam, but it would also allow for other moves with lower odds to become more reliant, such as any of the elemental punches or even Ancient Power, for an increased chance to get a stat boost for all 5 of its stat categories. These further enhancements of its stats and the ability to rely on luck might see Jirachi reach higher tier than that of just UU. Putting this on the balance scale, it will get a score of 9 out of 10. Yeah, that was Mega Balance 3. Out of all possible Megas shown in this video, which was your favorite? If this video gets 2 views, I'll do another one. And if you guys got suggestions for possible Mega ideas, comment down below, and I'll try and find a way to add them into the next video. Yeah, nothing left to say, so that's about it.